Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I welcome warmly you all to today's webinar on stress management in modern workplace, balancing workplace and modern life. It's a pleasure to have such an engaged audience joining us from different places. My name is Humaira and I am your moderator. Today's webinar is organized by Hopeheal with Ayesha Ahmed with the aim of learning stress management. We are honored to have with us our distinguished speaker, Mr. Chowdhary Muhammad Arif, who is an electrical engineer with 20 years of experience since 2015. In addition to that, Mr. Chowdhary has a profound interest in psychology and Islamic counseling. Moreover, he is passionate about assisting people in addressing both their physical and mental well being, leading by example in his own life. Allahumma barik, may Allah reward him. Before we begin, a few quick guidelines. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the session. You can post your questions in the chat box and we will have a question and answer session at the end. With enthusiasm and an open mind to learning, I invite Mr. Chowdhary to take over the session.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Humaira. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening from Dhaka, Bangladesh. And thanks again to Sister Humaira for that nice introduction. Let me introduce myself again in a different manner. I would tell myself as an enthusiast for physical and mental well-being, and I'm trying to upgrade that status from being an enthusiast to a professional, inshallah. And as you already heard, I have 20 years of experience in working for IT and telecommunication sector, multinational companies. So over these last 2 decades, I have witnessed how stress has become a discussion point, or maybe one of the most important negative point that we always discuss in our work life, be it we are service holder or even a businessman. In any case, stress is something that we handle or we bear it with us. In today's session, we'll try to, of course, understand what is stress in the first place, because unless until you understand something and you acknowledge it, you cannot work to alleviate it. So we'll go through stress management, and even before that, as I said, we'll learn what stress is all about and what it has to do with our workplace. And then finally, we'll try to give you some strategies, and of course, I leave it by myself, how to bring some balance in our work life and our personal life. So even before going to the next slide, I will tell everyone, maybe many of the participants are from the millennial generation. So let's go back to 90s, or even whenever you were in childhood. Maybe some other younger participants are also there. So I come from a time when we have seen our previous generation, our fathers, our uncles, all people used to go to their workplace in the morning with their lunch box around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and they would actually sign off from the work around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. And when they used to come home, they would forget everything. They completely signed out of their office. No need to call back their manager or leader. No need to report something over WhatsApp. That was a complete different world. We used to get time from our parents, specifically from our fathers, our uncles. They used to give a lot of time to their families. But during the start of this century, things started to change with the advent of internet. First came the internet, so people got more connected, and email became a part and parcel of our work life. It means that we can communicate to people when we are not even in the office. So that started gradually around the start of this century, around in between 2000 to 2005 and 6. Then gradually the social network, the WhatsApp, and other communication channels all began to get introduced. And finally, we saw the final transformation of our workplace during the situation of COVID. And when COVID came to our life, we got used to something called hybrid workplace. I'm quite sure if you go back to your childhood, I do not have any of my parents alive. I always tell this to my kids and even some of my friends that if I would have said to my parents back in 2000s that, see, ma, one day there will be time when I will be taking meeting from home, whenever I will be serving for you and earning the living, I will be doing the office from home. So they would have actually laughed it away. They would have said that, no, it's something completely impossible. So with this hybrid workplace, stress got introduced in our life and it became a part and parcel, as I said earlier. And we have already discussed a little bit about this modern workplace. The modern workplace that we are discussing has become more and more dynamic. There are a lot of demands and complexities that you need to address. Specifically, as I said, with the advent of internet, the globe or the earth became a global village. So we can get connected to people who are working in a different time zone. Even I myself, when I work, I remain open to work with people who are from different parts of the world. I also work with people who are from Europe. They get online by the time when we take lunch. Then there are people from the Middle Eastern country who are in a time zone that is different from us by 2 hours or 3 hours. So we need to be flexible enough. And somewhere in this process, in this hybrid workplace, we have become complacent to actually exchange our personal life with the flexibility in our working hours. What does it mean? Meaning that I feel complacent or happy when I feel I do not have to start my job right at 9 a.m. I can start at 10 a.m., considering that I also have a meeting with one of my colleagues sitting in a different part of the world at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So I can start my days later. So that is the complexity we are trading off. And then the proactive management and the communication channels that are open to all of us, Microsoft Teams, the Zoom meetings, and WhatsApp, all these has only made things more and more complicated, and the expectation has gone high and high. This has created some stress. See, even if we trade our family time with flexibility with our workplace, it creates a certain stress because you are never signing off from your workplace. And for our interaction, when I talk, you can give your input in our chat window that from 1 to 5 scale, the Likert scale, how much stress do you believe you feel in your day-to-day work life? Maybe we'll have some question around that as well. At the end of the webinar, we'll take question as well. So remember to put your comment so that we can make this as interactive over the chat. As I said, then that the key drivers of the stress in today's work context are, I mean, there are multiple impacts because of this flexibility, and they are expecting more and more. If we compare our previous generation's work life, we would never have seen a situation where they were expected by their managers or leaders to give them a status or an email at the end of the day around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. But this has become a normal situation right now. So let's see actually what sort of symptoms that we can see in ourselves as a result of the stress. On the left hand side, we can see the symptoms of work related stress. Before going into that, I would remind all of us to contemplate on a point or a statistics. we have started seeing more and more early detection of diabetes, hypertension, and other heart related illness in professionals who are working around us in our office or maybe in a different branch of our global offices. So even 20 years back or 30 years when I was a kid or I was a teenager, I have seen my parents to express their utter dismay if they have heard someone has had diabetes or blood pressure even in their 40s. They would have said that, oh my God, subhanallah, you have had diabetes and blood pressure, you have not even crossed 50. But now I think you all have at least had one of your colleagues or friends who have experienced or who have already been diagnosed with diabetes in their early 30s, somewhere around 30 to 35. Even last week, even before the Eid al-Adha, a small or a junior, uh, a brother in Deen, who reached out to me for support, who is only 23 years of age, and he has got diagnosed with hypertension. So it's getting more and more serious that the stress is getting translated into some chronic diseases and our life is getting impacted. And of course, as a responsible Muslim, we also have duties to our Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So with all these chronic diseases, not only we are falling short of our duties to our families, we are even falling short of our duties towards our Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the awareness is very much important for all of us. We need to understand that what is stress and how we can understand that we are under stress right now and what are the symptoms. So let's see what are the physical symptoms that we generally see. Physical symptom, if I say, generally you would understand that you are in stress if you feel fatigue at office, that after 1 or 2 hours of office you feel fatigued around 11 a.m. And then there are muscular tension. We know that we always are advised by doctors and other people who are working in physical medicine. They always say that please do not sit on a particular posture for more than 10 to 15 minutes. You get up, you have some break, have some water, and get back to the work, but we do not follow it. So the result is that we feel muscular tension, we have headaches, and we have cups of coffee after cups of coffee, and then sleeping difficulties. Sleeping difficulty has a very good connection with our screen addiction. That screen addiction would itself take a whole long session to address or another webinar. And then heart palpitation. These are physical symptoms that we find. And heart palpitation, I will go a little bit deeper into it on the later part of the webinar, where we will see actually in stress how does our body respond. And then there are psychological symptoms. You will find yourself depressed. The result of it, will see that what happens whenever we are depressed, there are anxiety, there are irritability. Maybe for irritability, I can give you some example. Whenever you are stressed and you are returning from your workplace to home, your small kids are coming towards you, that you are home, we are so happy, but you are irritated. You will say that, oof, get off me. I don't want to give you any time right now. Get my mobile or get the tablet and have some videos or have some games. Have fun. Please do not come to me. So that is also something, of course, a huge responsibility for us as a parent, that whenever our kids are seeking time from us, we need to give them time. And we need to give them quality time, not just allow them to take the tablet or take the iPad and get some fun time with having games and screen time. That's not the way. So that stress is even playing a significant negative role in taking out our impact as a positive, good Muslim parents. And then pessimism, you will develop pessimism, that everything you will feel like the things will not work in the end, and feeling of being overwhelmed. That is also something, it happens a lot. Whenever you feel like there are a lot of things on your plate and you do not know which one to give priority to, then it feels like it's overwhelming. And there are some behavioral symptoms as well. Maybe some of you will feel like psychological and behavioral symptoms are similar, but there are a little bit of difference. See, for behavioral symptom, you will feel increased absenteeism. You will skip your workplace a lot, and you lie to your manager or leadership team by saying that no, I have a stomach ache today, I have a headache today, but at the end you are actually just skipping the office because you are not feeling like lifting you up from the bed and go to the office. And then reduced interval and initiative and diminished work performance, your work performance will be diminished. And then of course you will have relationship problem. Before few minutes I said that you are showing irritation whenever you are returning home. That same irritation you can show to your spouse as well. Your spouse might have come to you to give you some comfort whenever you have returned after the long day, and maybe she is offering you a glass of water, or maybe some advice or something to discuss what happened during the day at home. And you will say that, oh, please allow me some time so that I can stay alone. I do not want any company right now. So that relationship also starts to get degraded. And mood swing, this is something self-explanatory. And all these things, if you see, maybe I'm repeating a little bit, but it's true. If you get to the start of this century around 2000s, I can assure you, you would not have heard so many cases of all the symptoms in workplace. But now you would always find someone say that no, I do not feel like going to office. I have a lot of mental issues. I have physical pain. I have back pain. I cannot sit for the whole khutbah or Friday sermon. Juma khutbah, we cannot sit for 45 minutes because I have backache, and I have lot of other issues and complaints to all the friends whenever we are actually meeting physically. And at the same time, I also want to highlight, we generally now really get little time to meet physically other people, because whatever time there is remaining in our life after the work life and family life, we are spending it everything on the online and virtual world. That has also contribution to our stress level. Now, what are the common causes of stress in our modern workplace? This is a summary slide and we'll go right into the detail of every single item, but let's have a look on what are the items we have mentioned in this slide. First of all, you'll see that there are unrealistic deadlines. I have mostly worked in my life, of course, as I said, as a part of multinational company, I've worked with people from other part of the world, but in most of the cases, people are mostly from subcontinent, meaning that either they are from Pakistan or India or from Bangladesh. So in this subcontinental culture, there are a lot of these issues which are prevalent, and maybe some other brothers and sisters who have joined from other countries you will find in your culture as well. But I can give you assurance that the all the items that I have mentioned in this slide are quite prevalent in subcontinent. First of all, the unrealistic deadlines. Whenever you will get an aggressive manager or leader, they will give you an unrealistic deadline, something that can be achieved only in 1 month's time. They'll give you maybe 1 week. Whenever you will challenge, you will be threatened with being the chance of being replaced. And then undue pressure from the managers. I will go into the details for that. And then this blurring boundaries between work and personal life, working around the clock in the exchange of flexibility. I will tell you how you need to balance it, because as a person, I personally believe that flexibility gives me a lot. So we also need to understand what flexibility means. Flexibility does not imply that you will be working round the clock. Even at 2 a.m., you will be waking up from bed, and instead of offering some tahajjud prayer, you will go right in front of the laptop and start drafting an email or attending a meeting. That's not something that is possible. So there is a definition of flexibility. We'll go into detail into of that, and then fear of losing job. I think that all the millennials like me who was born in that period of time, somewhere around mid 80s to late or early 90s. So these people are millennial generation. They are entering into their late 40s or early 40s right now. All of them are now going through a phase where they are in a constant fear of losing their job, because again in our subcontinent, HR is very much focused on replacing people with high salary and compensation and benefit package, because they think that someone is of course adding some value. What if I can replace this person? Is, let's say, he is getting 10,000 taka or rupee, 10 lakh rupee monthly right now. So his experience is now 15 to 20 years. Why do I not replace with someone like 6 years of experience, and I can pay half of what he gets today? That's another concern. And whenever you are working round the clock, your manager wants you to be online even at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Then you have limited time for your exercise, for your physical well-being, and which is of course connected with your mental well-being. And also you do not have any time to give your family as well. And then comes the toxic and unproductive work culture, which is associated with the office politics. Meanwhile, let me check out whether some of you have written in the. I am muting Nafisa Zaman. Okay, I think you can write your question. We will take up those questions later on. And also, I requested you to rate your stress level from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So we can understand that actually whether stress is quite relatable to yourself as well. Okay, let's go. And other things we have listed down here in this figure on the right side of the slide, you can see top 10 workplace stressors. These will be falling under these categories only. There are low salaries in this age where inflation is something. It's a ghost that actually that runs behind us. So low salaries and long hours, excessive workloads, few opportunities for advancement, meaning that there are so many contestants to what I'm doing right now in my company or even in my sector. So I do not get a chance to get a promotion or go to the next level or even switch my job. So HR also understands this, and then they utilize that. So they will not offer me any promotion or any increment or nor any progression path. Then uninteresting work, of course, the routine work is gradually getting replaced with artificial intelligence. That is another stress generator. And then not having enough control over job related decisions, lack of social support, bad management practices, organization culture, and relationships at work, and finally physical work environment. This also puts lot of stress in your day-to-day work life. The first one, we'll go a little bit deeper into this, for steep timelines without business reasons. Before starting this slide, I want to remind all of you one thing. What will be the purpose of this webinar? To take something away from the webinar and to implement in your life. So as a professional, we can assume two roles. One is that I'm serving for someone, or I'm an owner, or in a leadership position where someone is already serving for me, and also at the same time I'm also serving for some other superior manager. So in both cases, the takeaway from today's session should be: number one, we need to understand what stress we are going through and how do we manage it, and we take some calculated steps to reduce it, and we start managing it. And number two, whatever bad or malpractices we will be learning in today's session, whenever Allah will give us the opportunity to become a manager or become a leader in my company, or maybe in a company where we are serving today, we will be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will surely promise to ourselves that we will not implement or practice those malpractices. Those create stress for the people who are working for us. So that's a promise that you can all take from today's webinar. To start with, steep timelines without business reasons. We often get call from our manager or leader at the start of the weekend. I'm not sure whether it's similar in Pakistan and India, but surely in India the weekend is on Friday and Saturday. And it's Saturday and Sunday. In Bangladesh, the weekend is Friday and Saturday. For all the people who have joined from other countries, that's an interesting information for you to know. So whenever this weekend is starting, your manager will call at the very late hours of the last working day, maybe for you on the Friday afternoon or evening. They will tell that, are you leaving the office or have you already left? You will say that, I'm leaving. I have something to attend, and I'll be picking up my family after reaching home. So I was just packing off today. Then he will say, or she will say that, no, 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 you cannot leave the office now. We need a report to be given to our MD or general manager or some other senior manager. Then your weekend, even before starting it, it's spoiled. So your spouse, your kids are will not talk to you when you reach home, because you have reached home by 9:30 p.m. and you have already missed to pick up them, to take them to a family occasion or family gathering. So this is something we are always put into. And whenever you ask them that, okay, boss or sir or madam, what's the justification? Why are you asking this so late in Friday evening? They will just say that our leader wanted this report immediately whenever he wakes up in the morning tomorrow. And this that cannot be literally something that can be provided as a or given as a justification. So these unrealistic timelines will significantly decrease employees' morals as they struggle to meet expectation. So they have worked around the week, they have delivered well, and now whenever the weekend is coming and there is no business justification, and your manager is asking you to stay back at home, so that really hurts, and that will impact your moral very negative. And then comes undue pressure from managers. That's quite similar. And management style, that exact excessive pressure can foster a toxic atmosphere that harms employee morale and well-being. How does it work out? See, in modern day world, we always say that we need to be assertive, and at the same time, we need to be very much supportive to our employees. Gone are the days when people manager would have actually shouted and yelled at people for something which has not gone as per plan. Let's say someone has given you a draft of the PowerPoint slide and there is a typo, and you have not noticed it. So your line manager comes and he says or she says to you that, how come there was a typo in the PowerPoint presentation? Why did you not check it twice or thrice? I'll not tolerate this anymore. So if I see this next time, I'll get rid of you, and you will be packing up and you will be leaving this office. So if this culture continues, then people will not feel comfortable with the workload. They will always be tentative, and they will always be in the fear of losing the job. So they will never deliver something which is achievable. I can give you some examples. See, whenever we are watching cricket, specifically test cricket or even one day cricket, whenever there is a large target, and if you are constantly reminded about the target, that there is a huge target, you need to do extra additional in every single over, then you will not be able to get to the result. By the time, by panicking, you will be losing your wickets, and you will be losing even before going anything near to the target. So we have had a lot of time, the cricketers, the batsmen who have scored a big century, they will say that, I have taken things for gradually, for every over I just played out every over, and I didn't think about the target. So whenever someone is not pressurized with the target and constantly reminded about his target to be delivered in some time, they will be performing well. So we also need to remind these to all of the managers, and whenever we are in the managerial position, we also need to remember this. Let's go to the another one, the diminishing line between work and personal life. That is also very important. The remote work has surged in popularity. As I said, I work with many people from different parts of the world, and many of you already do this. So, during whenever you are practicing this hybrid work of life, you also need to set a time. So, maybe flexibility means that I will be flexible by 2 hours or 3 hours. Maybe I'll start the day 2 hours late because I need to work with some other people from other time zone. But it should not mean that I'll be available for 12 hours or 14 hours. So instead of 8 hours, for the flexibility, you can sacrifice additional 1 or 2 hours. That is something understandable and acceptable. But let's not decide to make your life so much so that you are sacrificing 14 to 16 hours for your work life. And the lack of clear separation between work and personal life can significantly affect mental well being and productivity. How does it happen? Let's say you are in dinner, and dinner is a very important event in our life where I always preach that in dinner table we should always be available to connect with other family members, specifically with our kids. So even during the dinner, if you take your mobile and you keep on checking your WhatsApp group and the directives coming from your manager or leader, so it sends a very bad signal to your kids and your spouse and every single member of your family. They will start understanding or feeling that you do not have a bifurcation between your personal life and work life. And whenever it happens, at someday you will be alienated from your family members. Your kids will not come to you, they will develop a distance with you, and you will rue for that big time. And during that time, that will not be recoverable. So that is something very important, to draw a line between work and personal life. And I also mentioned how you do it. And then comes the fear of losing job with aging. I've seen this very prevalent in our subcontinent. As people approach their late 40s or early 50s, they start getting afraid about their job. See, the HRs also try to bring optimization. They want to reduce their capex, opex, and everything, operational expenditure. I mean, see, they would always try to get rid of you unless you do one thing. You need to make yourself relevant to whatever you are doing or to the position you are being employed right now. So every single time you are passing 1 year and you are getting more and more senior, you need to add something more to your CV, to your skill set, to the contribution that you are making to the company, so that people feel that the amount of money which is spent for you is well justified. So that's why you need to make yourself relevant in your company. And that does not only mean that you keep on adding skill to your portfolio, but at the same time you also need to remain physically active and physically fit. It's not an issue if you have gray hairs and you are aging. As long as you can stay young, it will be always, and you are showing them your worth, nobody will ever think that you are unnecessary in the organization and you need to be replaced. And of course, there are cases wherever you will still be replaced, and that's a part of takdir, for which we need to prepare ourselves. How do we prepare ourselves? You also need to check your company's future financial situation. If you find that your company is not doing well financially, even though you are very relevant in the company, so you should start looking for your job even 2 or 3 years before. So that thinking you need to constantly do to stay out of this fear of losing job, and that will control your stress as well. And if you are not balancing your work and personal life, as I said, there will be limited time for exercise and for your family. You shall never sacrifice your family for the price of your company. You must have seen this meme in social network that your company will hire a replacement for you as soon as you die today, within 1 week or 1 month's time. So do not think that your job comes before your family. So that's why the time, that is, of course, at times you feel that is limited, but you need to make time for your own physical well-being by doing exercise, and you also need to set aside time for your family. One tip that I want to give you in this regard is that use your dinner table as a time and place to connect. Not only dinner, I would say that on the weekend, ensure that you are having lunch with all the family members in one single table and you can share a lot of things. The activities that can strengthen your family relationship and take or bring people out of the mobile screen or social network and keep you connected in the physical world is that whenever you are eating together, spend time in sharing your childhood memories with your kids. You can tell that 20 years back or 25 years back, I was also studying in the same class that you are right now. I had a teacher, I had this event when I was punished, or some funny other stories. So, all these things would be very much relatable for your kids, and they will also learn how to share their feelings to real people. Now that you see that people are more comfortable in sharing their thoughts in virtual world, in Facebook, in WhatsApp, but whenever you ask some people to share their thoughts to real people, they actually shy away, they cannot do it. So that you also need to invest in your family member with your time. Now let's see what our body's responses to stress. Whenever we are under stress, our body can respond in four manners. That's some sort of research result, and this is widely available in internet. If you search with the four F's of stress response of body, you will be able to find it. I'll quickly walk you through. You'll understand that maybe every single one of us are under stress in some fashion. The first response that our body and mind gives whenever we are under stress is the fight response. Fight response means that we'll get angry in our workplace or even at home. Whenever we are challenged, we are put under stress, we'll start yelling. We'll be shouting and showing our disagreement on a topic. We cannot anymore tell our disagreement in an amicable fashion. So whenever there is a disagreement, our first type of body response is that I'll start yelling. No, I do not agree. How come you have said this? I will not tolerate this. So this sort of response is falling under the banner of fight. And then comes the flight response. Flight response meaning that you will be panicking. You will not understand actually what to say next. There is a good example for this. Let me find it out. It's already there. So flight meaning that you are shying away from something. So one of your customer, whenever you are delivering a project, I'm giving this example because I come from IT and telecom sector. We deliver a lot of projects for our customer. Let's say there is a difficult customer who challenges a lot and who is demanding, and whenever he or she is reaching out to me, I'm avoiding a difficult conversation. I'll shy away, I'll not respond to the email. That is called our flight response of the body. And the third response is whenever we are on stress, we freeze. We freeze means that we cannot say anything. Let's say you are under a lot of stress, and suddenly, all on a sudden, uh, your manager says that, Mr. Arif, I'm quite happy with you, and I've decided that I'll give you some honor by nominating you to give an speech tomorrow in our weekly team meeting. And that catches you with surprise. You say that, oh my God, what will happen? I cannot do any public speaking. And on the very day, whenever you are asked to the stage and tell some few words about how you have been doing well for last couple of weeks or last 1 or 2 months, you froze. You cannot utter anything at all. So that is also some sort of stress. And then finally, fawning is another body response that we generally show. Uh, that happens in a way, maybe we think that this is not stress, so you will get apologetic, so you will be always in a mood whenever you are trying to please everyone, and you are always in a submissive style. I've seen many of my co-workers over the years, not recently. I've seen people who will start the meeting by, excuse me, is it okay if I tell something in the meeting? So he is already in a submissive position even before he or she starts talking. So, or whenever he or she is giving an opinion in a meeting, sorry, is it okay if I tell my opinion? So this takes away your uh, status to a lower level in your workplace. So that's why this is the fawn response. These are the stress response, that if you feel that if you are doing any of these four responses on a regular basis, you should understand that your body is responding to the stress that is actually eating your physical and mental happiness. And then prolonged stress can lead to increased anxiety, persistent worry, difficulty concentrating. Difficulty in concentrating is something very important. See, if you now a day ask people, let me ask you in the meeting window as well, please respond. So, when did you finish at least 100-page book in recent times, or if you have completed listening to a 1 hour lecture? How many of you? Maybe you can raise your hands or maybe put on the chat window. That would be very helpful to know. So you will understand that by asking people around you, have you ever finished a book which is at least 100 page? I have seen negative responses in most of the cases whenever I have asked in my friend circle. So people's concentration has gone for a toss. They cannot concentrate even if you go to your Juma prayer during the Friday sermon. I don't know whether you have noticed, all the brothers will see that even if our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has advised us that you need to be completely attentive and listen to the Friday sermon if you want to get the full benefit and sawab of the whole prayer and sermon, you need to be attentive. But at the same time, you will see that many people are scrolling the mobile screen because they cannot concentrate at all. So stress is also taking away our attention. And as I said at the beginning of the session, we are being diagnosed with chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, liver disease, and etc. And not to forget, there is a issue called stress eating. You can also write on the chat window, have you ever heard of it? So whenever we are in stress, we keep on eating, and we feel like this is giving us some relief, but at the same time, this is also adding to our bad physical situation. We are gaining weight. The chance of our having chronic disease is increasing at the same time, or maybe it is aggravating more. And as you see, the cognitive effects of stress is our ability to focus, remember information, and make sound decisions can significantly impair our work performance. In between 2006 and 2010, before the time when we started syncing our phone book with Google Cloud or maybe Microsoft Cloud, we used to remember a lot of phone numbers. You can also uh, agree with me with this. I remember uh, I I had more than 50 to 60 numbers memorized, phone numbers. Nowadays, if you ask people in our new generation, Gen Z or Gen Alpha, if you ask them how many phone numbers do you remember or do you memorize, they'll say that no. Why do we even have to memorize phone number? But it helps to actually hone our memorizing skill. That is something very important. And then let's move to the next one. The behavioral change due to stress, we might experience increased irritability that I've already touched up. And then how to find a balance between our physical life. Just checking. Okay, I'm still on time. I just checked my time. These are some strategies that you all can adapt, which will help you build your mental resilience and strengthening your inner self. First of all, we need to be mindful. Being mindful means whenever you are somewhere, you are spending time with your spouse or maybe kids or maybe your friends. And of course, whenever I'm saying that, that is in a physical world, not in a virtual world. So you stay there. I have been seeing it lately, maybe for last 3 or 4 years. Even whenever people are sitting in front of a tea shop, your youths are sitting together to spend time together. They are not actually spending time together. They are everyone busy with their own phone and playing games in the mobile. So whenever you are in your house, in your bedroom, or maybe in your living room, you are spending time with your parents, or maybe your siblings, or your kids or spouse. Please stay there. You focus. Even I have adopted a recent strategy where I start a conversation. I say that this is my phone. I'm silencing it, and you have my full attention. And see, this is also in alignment with whatever our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught us. Many of you have heard the hadith where we know that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have turned his direction towards a person whenever he is listening to someone. So this is also part of the sunnah. So whenever you are giving someone the whole attention, you think that I'm doing it for the sake of sunnah as well. So you will get some reward as well from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then quick exercise. We should not sit in the same posture for a long time. Although I've already violated it, I have been sitting in this position for 40 minutes now. Maybe it's for the webinar, but whenever you are in your day-to-day work life, please remember to stand up after 15 to 20 minutes and get a sip of water. And surely I am not telling you to take a smoking break. Lot of people does this, and I really do not support it. And the power of reading. Reading books is something that will help you to build your resilience, increase your focus and attention. People who are from Bangladesh, you can remember we have been through a period of time in 2024 whenever the previous tyrannical government left. There were a lot of political violences here. The internet was cut off for 4 to 5 days. During that time, I finished 400-page books within a span of 3 to 4 days. That is something impossible. I could not even imagine myself. That means the internet, the Facebook, the WhatsApp, the virtual connectivity has taken or eaten up our habit of reading books. So let's introduce the habit of reading books in our day-to-day life. We need to teach it to our kids by setting example by ourselves. We need to read books, and we can read out books to them whenever we are having dinner together. After the dinner, we can set out 30 minutes of time when some of us, maybe one of the parents, can read out. It can be Sira or biography books. It can be even a detective books from uh, 1960s or 70s. And then digital detox strategies that I have already touched upon. There should be some time in your home and place wherever you will declare that nobody should be touching the device during this time. And cognitive restructuring, become aware of negative or unhelpful thought patterns like I have to be perfect or I need to always please my manager or boss. That also gives you some additional stress. And one way of addressing this is that whenever you are appointed or assigned to a new manager, I do it myself. I always request him to have a dialogue with me at the very beginning of our journey. I tell him or her that let's chalk out what is your expectation from me and how frequently you want me to communicate to what I am doing on a day-to-day life. Maybe, of course, I am now in a senior position. I take care of a huge business in my country, and also my manager is also taking care of maybe 4 to 5 other countries. So I also need to understand how much attention he is seeking from me. So if I think that I need to keep posting him status twice in a day, every single day at one point of time he will be irritated, annoyed. So rather than that, at the very beginning of your journey with your new manager, you set it straight with him or her that actually how frequently they want you to communicate to them. That would really help you. And of course, you should regularly acknowledge the niyamas that Allah has given us, and that would really help you to be feeling happy and maybe release some of the stress that you are going through. And finally, maybe the last one or two slides we are now. I have already touched physical exercise. Now, how do we manage it? See, even when we are studying the Quran, you will always see that people have not read the Quran for more than a year because they think they need to find out 1 hour time in a day to study the Quran or read the Quran. But that is something that actually a wrong cognition. You only need to find 15 to 20 minutes daily to start something, not only reading Quran. So even if you can find 15 or 20 minutes at the start of your journey, that I'll at least set aside 20 minutes to do my exercise, and you can keep on doing that for 1 or 2 weeks, then you can start thinking about increasing that to 30 minutes. I'll tell you what, I have been through cases whenever I have so much commitment to my exercise schedule that maybe there is a meeting with people from other time zone. I'm attending it after the Isha prayer, and that's once in a blue moon situation. So I'll tell them that uh, when do you need me in the meeting? They will say that it's okay if you in a listening mode for first 30 minutes, then you can participate on the last 30 minutes of the meeting. Then what I do, I join the meeting, I connect my Bluetooth headset, and then I start running in my treadmill. So I will still ensure that my daily quota of running or the physical exercise has not been compromised for a meeting that is taken outside my office hour. So that sort of commitment we need to ensure from our own selves. So start with a small period of time, and even you can get the inspiration from that famous hadith where Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has told us that actions are really favorite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which are small, but those which are done on a regular basis. So that's not only applicable for ibadah, you can take it to your exercise as well. And then healthy food. Healthy food is a big, important point in our day-to-day life. Even though I've spent a good amount of time in explaining how important exercise is, but at the same time, see, exercise will contribute to your good health for 5 to 10%, or maybe maximum 20%. But if you are not taking healthy food, if you are taking junk food at office, outside the office hour, at home, then it will only increase your stress. So earning your knowledge, know what nutrition is all about, what are the bad foods and what are good foods. You also need to learn about that. And then prioritizing your quality sleep. Have you ever thought that how Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions used to offer tahajjud prayer almost every single day? When I learned from a doctor or a professional that our sleep related hormones are released only in between 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. time, then everything got clear. It means our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our beloved Prophet, he would have gone to bed by this time now when we are conducting this webinar. Even before that, maybe 8:30 or 8:45 p.m., he would have gone to the bedroom, he would have spent with our mothers of the believers, and then maybe he would fall asleep by 9:30 p.m. So it's easy. You can try it yourself. If you sleep by 9:30 p.m., surely by 3 a.m. at the middle of the night, you will wake up anyway. And then it's easy for you to offer tahajjud prayer. So we are losing a big time whenever we are adjusting or we are spoiling our sleep schedule by browsing through our mobile screens and watching reels and shorts, which at times many of these are haram materials, and then we are spoiling or destroying our sleep schedule, and then that's also contributing to our stress. And finally, ensure that at least once in a week, if not that possible, at least once in a month, go to a place wherever you are getting close to the nature, you are seeing some greeneries with your kids, and you are spending quality time with your family members in greeneries. That really helps you to take off your stress. And some good habits, you should always have the intention to spend quality time with loved ones. Let's say if your office colleagues are saying that let's have some dinner outside in this fancy place, you'll say that sorry, please excuse me. If it is something related to work, I am ready, but this evening time I need to spend with my family. So that prioritization that you need to do, and build and maintain a supportive network. So please be close to all those people who promote these practices. So people who will say that, oh, you are family member, oh, you are so mad about your family or your spouse, and they will make fun of you. But please do not give any ear to all those people. So if you think that you are going back home to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because spending time with your family members, meaning your parents, it's of course is a right good deed. I mean, spending on your with time with your wife, that's also a good deed. And if you're investing time for your kid, that is also a good deed. Rather than going outside without any plan, uh, please try to prioritize and try to socialize with those people who believe in these good practices. The importance of boundaries in relationship, and at times like to your work colleagues and to your manager, learn to say how no. And then community activities is something many people they feel bored whenever they are asked to do physical exercise. So maybe you can play football. I have been playing football for more than 5 years now with my kids and other guardians from the school where my kids study. So that is also something very interesting that you can take as a challenge. So if you start playing football or start running together or uh, ride bicycle together, that is also something that will help you. And if you ever think that your stress has gone to a level where you need medical help or professional help, please do not hesitate to take that help. I believe we are at the end of the webinar, and I hope I have touched all the points. I now quickly we try to summarize what we have touched upon. Maybe meanwhile you can post your question if you have any question. We have talked about stress. Stress has become a part and parcel of our modern day work life. Be you are a service holder or a businessman, there are more and more workplace related illness, and we are seeing people to get diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension in their early 30s. And then we have gone through the common causes of stress in the modern workplace, and we promised with our us that whenever we are in a place of authority, position of authority, we will not do these malpractices, and whenever we are on the receiving end, we'll try to challenge them with respect. And we learn when to understand our body is under stress, and finally we went through some of the strategies that can help us to build a balanced lifestyle. So that's pretty much what I had for this today's webinar. I hope you enjoyed, and you can ask any question if you have.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so my name is Sahifa and I'm a student. I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you a question that how can we develop a happy or a positive perspective towards life? The question may feel like a little off topic, but I really want you to answer it like any positive factors or any practice that you prefer or you do in your life.
Okay, Jazakillahu khair, sister. So let me try it out. Maybe if I would have got 5 to 10 minutes, maybe the answer would have been more elaborate, but let me try what I have seen people to do, or maybe I have practiced in my student life. So first of all, you need to adopt a discipline in your day-to-day life. I have seen young people, specifically Gen Z, they do not maintain a discipline. Let's say they wake up late at night, they go to sleep around 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., and most of them will miss their Fajr prayer. that is something completely unacceptable. It's not something that is bad, it is completely unacceptable. So first of all, you need to set your life into a disciplined routine. That's number one. And you can start your day after the morning. You can have another 1 or 2 hours of nap in the summer, because uh, the fajr time is really early. But if you can sleep really early around 9:30 p.m. and 10 p.m., that's really good. And you can also influence your family members to have early dinner. That will help you to go to bed early and rise early. So number two, discipline routine. Number one. Number two is that go to sleep early and start your day early. Number three, reduce your time in social network and your screen. Whenever you need to watch some video or something, you assign some time. Let's say I'll spend 15 to 30 minutes today and I will investigate this in YouTube and watch these and these videos. Just do not roam around and go from one video to another and just scroll through the reels and shorts which are coming in your timeline. So stay away from that. This is number three. Number four, build the habit of reading books again if it's possible, and of course read the Quran every single day. I myself try, and I have not been able to do it on a regular basis, but at least I try. And adopt all the good habits that has been suggested by our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Please uh, recite all the evening and morning azkar or the dua that has been prescribed in the Sunnah. You will get it from the Hisnul Muslim. This is available on the Android application. And that's pretty much about it, what comes to my mind right now. I hope it helps you. Anyone else? Any other question? Maybe I'll highlight two habits that you can take away from the webinar. Establish that you will develop the habit of reading books in yourself and within your family members as well. That's number one. And also you will regulate your time in online world. These are the two very useful habits that will make your life really more productive than many other Muslims or many other people in today's life. I think we can conclude today's webinar if you do not have any other question. Maybe we'll wait another 1 minute, then we can conclude the webinar.
Before concluding, we need to take a class picture. So I request all the participants to open their camera. They can wear niqab and hijab too.
Okay. I'll still be in the meeting, but I'll not switch my camera. So let's have the camera, because most of the participants are sisters. So let them take the sisters. I'll stay out of the photo. I'll turn off my camera. Go ahead, please.
Sir, can you stop screen sharing so I can put all the participants on the... Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
stop sharing.
Yes, thank you. Everyone has opened their cameras. It's okay if someone's camera is not working. I don't see anyone open their cameras.
Maybe sisters are unwilling to switch on their camera, maybe.
Okay, it's all right. Maybe only you can switch on and then I'll take the screenshot.
Okay.
I don't see your picture.
I've switched on.
Okay, yes, I can see it. Okay, it's done. We can close the cameras.
Jazakumullahu khairan, everyone. So let's conclude the webinar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
As we have come to the end of the webinar, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Chowdhary, on behalf of Hopeheal with Ayesha Ahmed for such an informative and engaging session. Your insights have truly added value to all of us. I would like to thank all the participants for your active involvement and thoughtful questions. Your presence made this session meaningful, and hope you found the session insightful and enriching. We encourage you to take these learnings forward and apply them in your respective fields. If you have any further questions or feedback, please feel free to post them in the group. Once again, thank you for all joining, and hope to see you all in the future webinars. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.